Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. Greensboro Transit Agency is launching a new nonpartisan initiative to support voter awareness and participation in the November 2020 elections. The Move to the Polls campaign is designed to ensure transportation barriers are eliminated for registered and new voters in Greensboro. Similarly to previous years, GTA, HEAT, and SCAT will join peer transit systems around the Triad and across the nation to offer fare-free public transportation on Tuesday, November 3rd. The fares will also be waived during early voting from October 15th to October 31st. The campaign includes a nonpartisan downloadable voter guide. The document provides key election dates and resources to ensure voters are equipped with factual and timely information obtained from both the Guilford County and North Carolina Board of Elections. By visiting the Election Station webpage at ridegta.com, voters will find access to resources identifying early and Election Day voting locations and links to verify their voter registration status. The Move to the Polls campaign is a public service provided by GTA and the City of Greensboro in partnership with several community groups and organizations. The clock is about to run out on the 2020 U.S. Census. The field data collection will be suspended at the end of this month. Self-response options will also close on September 30th to allow data processing to begin. The Census Bureau is committed to achieving a similar level of responses as compared to prior census years, including efforts to reach communities difficult to count. To date, more than 90 million homes, which accounts for nearly 63% of all households in the country, have responded to the 2020 census. Building on its successful and innovative internet response option, the Census Bureau staff, including temporary workers who are going door to door, will work diligently to achieve an accurate count. The Census Bureau relies on the support of hundreds of thousands of community-based business, state, local, and tribal partners contributing to these efforts across our nation. The 2020 census impacts every American. If you know someone who has not yet responded, please encourage them to complete the census today, online, over the phone, or by mail. Be sure to check out the interactive map on the city's website to track neighborhood responses to the U.S. Census. The interactive map is updated daily with response rates from the Federal Census Bureau. Applications for artist support grants are now available on the Arts Greensboro website using a new portal system. Grants will range in awards from $500 to $2,000. Funded by North Carolina Arts Council, the Artist Support Grant Program provides professional and artistic development grants to eligible artists. The North Carolina Arts Council has designated Arts Greensboro and the Arts Council of Winston-Salem and Forsyth County as the lead art councils for the 5-county region, including Davidson, Davie, Forsyth, Guilford, and Randolph County. The lead arts councils administer the grants and host the review panel to determine awardees. The partnering agencies handle the marketing and applicant workshops. Artists in all disciplines are eligible to apply for grants to support their professional and artistic development. The deadline to submit applications is Sunday, October 4th. For more information, please call Darlene McClinton at 336-279-7086. In an effort to help each of us improve our quality of life, the city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Regardless of what sport your teenager plays, and whether they play at a highly competitive level or whether they play for fun, we know that they want to win very badly, but we also know that equally, if not more important, is keeping them safe. My name is Dr. Robert Weiner, and I'm with Murphy Weiner Orthopedics. And I'm going to talk to you today about what the warning signs are, what to look for, and how to keep your teenagers and kids safe when they're playing sports at whatever level they're doing. When we talk about factors that lead to injuries, there's some things I want you to understand first about what an injury really is. Injuries can be from one particular event, such as you're running down the field and you go to make a hard cut and your knee gives out. That's one particular event. Or an injury can come from overdoing the same activity over and over again. We call those overuse injuries. And the problem is that not always do you pay attention to the pain. The young athlete may want to just continue to throw because they don't want to disappoint anybody, and so they continue to throw in pain. So the way to prevent an injury in throwing is not only to make sure your arm is strong, but also to make sure that your whole body is strong. So we really stress core strengthening for our throwers. That's true for not just baseball. It's true in tennis, because it's an overhead sport. It's true in volleyball because that can also be an overhead sport. It's true in swimming. So the one thing we tell all of our coaches and our parents when we're talking about their kids playing a sport that involves using their arm is, number one, if you start having pain, immediately stop. Because the more you throw or do anything in pain, the more you're going to do more injury. Then we go back and say, okay, you take some time off. You do a lot of stretching. Stretching is very important in any sport, whether it's baseball for your arm or your hips, you have to stretch those too. Whether it's football or basketball, where we stress a lot about stretching the lower body. But the stretching is important, the strengthening is important, and then resting. Resting is really important, and so we stress that a lot. And so when you feel like that you've done the strengthening and done the stretching, and if there is pain, and you've taken a week or two off, yet you've continued to work on the rest of your body, and if the pain is still there, you need to see us. We see a lot of times that, especially in the summer when these summer leagues will start up, that the kids will start playing on two different teams. And so one team will play on the weekends and another team will play during the week. And all of a sudden, you don't realize it, but they're playing every day and there's no rest, there's no downtime. And so we can see a lot of injuries from that standpoint. We see it in soccer, we see it in baseball. So playing on multiple teams at the same time is a real warning sign that an injury may be brewing. And again, if something starts to hurt, you have to stop. The other thing that we see that goes along with this is that there are many times where there are big tournament weekends, and there'll be 3 or 4 games a day on a Saturday and then on a Sunday. And that's also a potential recipe for a problem. So really paying attention to the amount of time that the young athlete is playing when you don't think it's a big deal, but if you start adding it all up, it's an incredible amount of exposure to the same sport, the same stress on their body over and over again. Just remember, at the end of the day, it's equally important not just to win and to outscore the other team, but also to make sure that you stay safe and healthy. So thank you. Now, for any other information on these topics, go to conehealth.com/orthopedics, and you can find all that information that you need. Thank you.
A life-changing injury suffered on the battlefield doesn't have to keep veterans off the playing field as it relates to golf. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department and the Greensboro Elks Lodge are offering free adaptive golf clinics at Gillespie Golf Course. Sessions take place from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, September 26th and Saturday, October 17th. The clinic is free, but registration is required. Players can register online. The clinics are designed to teach adaptive techniques designed for individuals with physical disabilities. Golf professionals will offer instruction on adaptive techniques to first-time players or those looking to get back into the game. Golf offers exercise and a great way to socialize. No previous experience is needed to participate. Gillespie Golf Course is located at 306 East Florida Street. For more information, call Gillespie Golf Course at 336-373-5852 or the city's Adaptive and Inclusive Recreation Office at 336-373-2626. Creative Greensboro Office of Arts and Culture will award $60,000 through a new Catalyzing Creativity grant program. Applicants may request up to 50% of project expenses equivalent to up to $10,000. The funds will provide financial support to nonprofits or individuals to engage historically marginalized communities through creative programs. Founded in 2019, Creative Greensboro provides support for, ensures access to, and drives awareness of Greensboro's creative community. The Catalyzing Creativity Grants program aligns with one of the strategies of the city's Master Arts Plan. Greensboro Chief Creative Economy Officer Ryan Deal says this opportunity is designed to support organizations and individual creative professionals who regularly engage with communities of color, low-income neighborhoods, and/or people with disabilities. Applicants must be Guilford County based with a creative program or project that will happen in Greensboro. Program categories include natural sciences, history, architecture, technology, visual arts, performing arts, and literature. Organizations awarded cash or in-kind support from the City of Greensboro valued at $5,000 or more within the last 12 months are not eligible to apply. The deadline to apply for a Catalyzing Creativity grant is Friday, October 30th. Applications are available on the Creative Greensboro website. The Greensboro Public Library welcomes suggestions from residents for the One City, One Book community read happening in the fall of 2021. Every other year, the library and its long list of community partners leads a citywide reading of a selected book. Several dynamic activities are hosted as a way to engage the entire community around the themes of the chosen book. Suggested titles should include themes that can lead to meaningful discussions about issues considered relevant to the community at large. The book should also be adaptable as a theatrical, musical, or other performing art. The ideal book should be suitable for library programming for all ages. Last year, the community selected Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. This resulted in more than 200 library community partner and book club programs focused on the themes of racism and immigration. More than 6,000 people participated in One City, One Book in 2019. Suggestions for the 2021 version of One City, One Book must be submitted by September 30th. Send emails to Beth Sheffield, the library's adult programming coordinator. The City of Greensboro has devised a plan to deal with dilapidated properties. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with our code compliance manager and tell you all about it. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The Greensboro City Council approved a resolution giving the Minimum Standards Housing Commission authority to petition the Superior Court to appoint a receiver to rehabilitate, demolish, or sell vacant properties. Joining me now to tell us about the Vacant Housing Receivership Pilot Program is Troy Powell. He is the manager of the city's Code Compliance Office. Hello, Troy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. This is obviously a new initiative that City Council has supported. So tell us, how does this Vacant Housing Receivership Program work?
Okay. A lot of neighborhoods have endured for years dilapidated, vacant, damaged houses virtually right beside their properties. And this now is a tool where they can be addressed. We're very appreciative of the City Council having adopted such a tool to help our neighborhoods and to address these blighted and unsafe conditions. The state legislature enacted a law in October of 2018 so that cities can petition the Superior Court for the appointment of a qualified receiver, and that bill was called the Receivership Bill. The qualified receiver can then rehabilitate the property, place their liens against the property to collect their labor cost, equipment cost, any fees that are associated with the rehabilitation. The pilot program will address 20 properties from those ordinances that would improve the appearances of the neighborhoods, increase the health and safety of the occupants, remove the unsafe hazards and conditions, and increase the stock of our safe, affordable housing in Greensboro.
Okay, so obviously safety and property values are a major consideration. What else makes this so important to the city of Greensboro?
When the Housing Commission approves or adopts an ordinance to repair or demolish a structure, it can basically sit on a list for a very long time if it's not addressed. This tool now allows that authority to get it addressed and to get the home rehabilitated and get it safe and back into the affordable housing stock. And without the program, the houses would continue to deteriorate, continue to be blighted, people's property values would continue to fall, and it would really deteriorate the conditions of a neighborhood, making unsafe conditions worse, decreasing their values, and as well as increasing crime.
Okay, so the receivership program actually puts teeth into the process so that you're expediting. Once you've identified the properties, you can expedite that process.
Yes.
And what does that process for selecting receivers consist of?
Well, currently the Housing Commission has 139 ordinances to demolish residential structures and 68 to repair them. What we're doing now, the next steps, is to adopt or to issue a request for qualifications. And in that process, we will be attempting to identify receivers that qualify by the general statute so that we may have them enter into a contract with the city as a construction contractor and propose them or present them to the Superior Court to be appointed as a qualified receiver. Now, to qualify as a qualified receiver, the general statute says that they have to have the financial ability, the knowledge and experience, the insurance coverage to rehabilitate a residential structure, as well as they also cannot own any property that has current building code violations issued by the city. And that may be their partner, their company, their business. There's a lot of connections there in the general statute. But these selected receivers will enter into a contract with the city. We will evaluate the properties in which we have ordinances on, identify the top 20 for this pilot program, and then we will assign that property to a receiver or to one of our receivers. We would ask them to develop an action plan of rehabilitating the property, and then we would be taking that plan upon the permission of the Housing Commission to the Superior Court and asking the judge to appoint them as a qualified receiver.
Okay, so it's nice to know there are steps involved and it's very organized. And I'm assuming that if you're a receiver, there are benefits to raising your hand and saying, I want to do this. What are the benefits?
Well, for a receiver, I would say it's an investment opportunity. As a receiver, you have the authority to act on a plan of action that's set by the court, because we're presenting your plan to the judge, but the judge can alter the plan. So it has to be adopted by the court. So you're following through with it. You fix up the property. You can rent the property because you're gaining control of a vacant property. You make the repairs. You're allowed to retain the property control for 2 additional years. During that 2-year period, you either can put your lien on the property and foreclose on your lien, or you can put a tenant in the property and rent the property, collect the rent yourself, which will be creating yourself an immediate revenue stream for a period of 2 years. At the end of the 2 years, if you've not collected back all the money that you put into your property, your labor, your expenses to rehabilitate it, then the judge will, by statute, allow you to foreclose on your lien. So the owner of the property can pay the lien and keep their own property, or the receiver can foreclose on their lien to get their money back, and in doing so, they would gain ownership of the property through that foreclosure, and then they can sell it for a profit.
Okay, well, it's like all full circle. Is there anything else? You've given us a great explanation of the program, the purpose of the program, how to get involved in the program, if this is up your alley. Is there anything else you want to add about the vacant housing receivership program?
Well, like I said, the pilot program, it is a tool to improve the rundown vacant houses in the city that are negatively affecting our neighborhoods. And it is also to help increase our safe and affordable housing. That goes right along with our 10-year housing plan that's hope to be adopted soon by the City Council. We look forward to the implementation of the program. And if anyone is interested in becoming a receiver, they can go to the Code Compliance webpage for more information.
Okay, well, thank you, Troy. I want you to come back and let us know how many folks signed on to be receivers and keep us posted on the progress. Will you be cataloging with images the before and after of these homes?
We will.
Okay,
yes.
So we do want to see all of that, and thank you for all that you and your team is doing each and every day to keep our city housing safe and affordable, but also available.
Thank you.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. Due to COVID-19, the City Council is meeting virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. City Council meetings usually take place on level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Guilford Works is featured in a Spotlight on Local Workforce Innovations report published by the Governor's NC Works Commission. The report highlights the Coursera initiative launched in June, which provides unemployed and furloughed job seekers with job-relevant online learning at no cost. Guilford Works is the first local agency to partner with Coursera in North Carolina. Interested participants can register at Guilford Works through October 31st. Coursera established the Workforce Recovery Initiative in early 2020 to help governments provide unemployed workers with free access to online courses. The goal is to help displaced workers develop the knowledge and skills needed to get hired. Free online learning courses are still available to Guilford County residents who are unemployed or working reduced hours. The program offers free access to more than 3,000 college and university courses. Free access to these courses is available through December 31st, 2020. The City of Greensboro's Office of Workforce Development is commonly referred to as Guilford Works and is the administrative and service arm of the NC Works Career Centers located in Greensboro and High Point. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first we have an important message regarding COVID-19.
Remember the 3 W's. Wear a cloth face mask covering, wait 6 feet from others, and wash your hands often. By working together, we can adjust to this new normal and continue to save lives.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Greensboro Department of Transportation has installed solar-powered electrical vehicle charging stations at 2 downtown city-owned parking lots. The charging stations, manufactured by Envision Solar, are located in the City-County parking lot at 201 South Eugene Street and the city metered lot at the corner of East Washington and South Davie Streets. The charging stations were purchased with a Clean Fuel Advanced Technology grant from North Carolina State University and federal funds from NCDOT. According to the manufacturer, the charging stations are independent of the electrical grid and no construction is necessary to install them. They are capable of storing enough solar energy to charge up to 225 miles of electric vehicle driving per day. These are the first solar-powered electric vehicle charging stations offered by GTA. Electric vehicle charging stations are located at the Green Street parking deck and the Elm Green parking lot. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout-out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout-out. This week's shout-out goes to the WD Mohammed Islamic Center. The church hosted a free food giveaway on September 19th at Halima's Pantry. This was a partnership with the Church of Latter-day Saints, which sent a trailer truck from Utah filled with 10,000 pounds of food. Halima's Pantry is open every third Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. All food recipients are required to show photo ID and complete a short intake form. The pantry is located at 3015 East Bessemer Avenue in Greensboro. As more places continue to open, please remember to wear your face covering, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.